Firstly, the speaker said that the president had met that morning with his advisor. Following a speech he had made to representative of the National Teachers Union. Then he said that after that he had given his weekly press conference, during which he had outlined his plan for stimulating the economy. Finally, he said that he had left that evening for a tour of the West Coast, where he could view areas damaged by the recent storms. Firstly, the speaker said that the number they had called was no longer in service, and he suggested hang up and check their telephone directory to make sure they had dialed the correct number. Next, he said that if they need further assistance, he suggested call the operator. And if they would like to order a current telephone directory, he suggested hang up and call new telephone number, Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. The speaker announced the museum would close in 15 minutes, and he suggested retrieving our bags and coats from the coat check room then. Next, he said that they could reopen the next day morning at 9 a.m. and didn't forget to pick up a special exhibit scheduled on their way out. Finally, he said that they had hoped they enjoyed their visit today and that they would return to see their exhibit again soon. The speaker announced they still had some tickets available for Saturday afternoon's soccer game. Transportation on the company bus could be provided for those who wish it. Then he said that if they were interested in attending the game, he suggested sending an email message to Mr. Kim in the Human Resources office before 5 o'clock. Next, he said that let Mr. Kim know how many tickets they could need and whether or not they planned to ride the company bus. And finally, he reminded the tickets and bus ride were free. The speaker said that ordering by phone was easy for first-time customers and it could save their money. Then he said that after they had chosen the items you wish to purchase from their catalog, dial their toll-free number and press 1 for their special first-time customer line. Next, he said that a customer service representative could guide them through the ordering process. And finally, he reminded that didn't forget to have their credit card handy when they called. Firstly, the speaker thanked everyone for attending that day's workshop. Then he said that they were honored to have with us Professor Martina Toth, chairperson of the Political Science Department at National University. Next, he said that Professor Toth, an expert in electoral politics and author of several books on the subject, could lead them in a discussion of the current political climate and the implications for the upcoming elections. The speaker thanked everyone for all your coming out that night. Then he said that they had a wonderful program for them. Dr. James' lecture on Italian art, which would be accompanied by a fascinating slideshow, could be preceded by a brief musical performance. Next, he said that students from the City School of Music would perform a piece by Verdi. And finally, he reminded that following the lecture, there could be a question for answer session. The speaker reminded that Customers were asked not to park in the lot next door. That lot belongs to Joe's restaurant. Their car could be towed if you had parked there. If street parking was not available, they could park in the lot behind the ABC supermarket. And finally, he suggested leaving the area by the front door free for delivery vehicle. Firstly, the speaker said that they had hoped they enjoyed that evening's talk by author Marvin Howard. And he said if they would like to hear more, Mr. Howard would be interviewed on radio station PQR the next day evening at 7:30. Then he said that if they would like a copy of Mr. Howard's book, they had some available for sale up front. Finally, he said that Mr. Howard would remain here for a short while to sign books and answer questions. Firstly, the speaker suggested get out their winter coats and scarf because that morning's rain would turn to snow by early afternoon. Then he said that they could expect 3 to 4 inches of snow before it tapers off that evening. And next, he suggested be careful on the drive home from work and be prepared for possible traffic delays. Finally, he reminded that the next day would be cold and windy and the roads would likely be very icy. Firstly, the speaker thanked everyone for calling Sunrise Telephone. Then he said that listen carefully to the following menu, because it might have changed since the last time they had called. Next, he suggested for telephone repairs, press 1. For building inquiries, press 2. To order a new telephone line, press 3. To speak with a customer service representative, stay on the line. Finally, he suggested to return to the main menu at any time, press the pound key. Firstly, the speaker thanked everyone for calling Joe's bookstore, where the books they want to read were sold at the lowest price they could enjoy. Then he said that it was easy to find us because they were located in the heart of downtown shopping district at 565 Henry Street, near the corner of Elm Avenue and just across from Central Park. Next, he said that they were just 1 block from the Henry Street subway station. Finally, he suggested come on down, and they were waiting for them. Firstly, the speaker said hello to the listener, and then he said that he just had called to say that his plane arrived at the airport at 4 the next day. Next, he said that he could probably just want to go straight to the hotel, and he would just take a taxi and meet her there at 7. After that, he said that he made dinner reservation for 2 at the Colonial restaurant, and he heard it was a really nice place. Finally, he said that he wanted to see her. Firstly, the speaker said that a tour bus accident on road then early today caused major traffic delays during the morning rush hour. Next, he said that it also had a result in disruptions to the normal bus schedule at Central Station. After that, he said that the bus hit a tree as it was going around a curve, and it was filled with vacationers returning from the beach. Finally, he said that several passengers were hospitalized with minor injury. The speaker hello the listener, and then he said that they had a room for them on the second floor for 2 nights because you requested. And he gave them the key. Next, he said that after they unload their car, they could park it the pilot on the side of the building, and they could get someone to help them take their luggage upstairs if they could like. Finally, he suggested they could be paying by check or with a credit card. Firstly, the speaker said that saving money was easier than they think. Then he said that the first step was to stop borrowing money. Every time they used their credit card, they were borrowing money at a very high interest rate. Next, he said that the more money you borrow, the more interest you would have to pay. That means they would have less money to save. Finally, he said that throw away their credit cards that day and they could be on the road to save money. Firstly, the speaker thanked everyone for calling the city bus hotline. Then he said that if they were calling for information on schedules and routes, he suggested ready to explain their point of departure, their destination, and the day and time they plan to travel. Next, he said that stay on the line and an operator would assist them shortly. And if they could like to receive a free map of city bus route, just let the operator know and one will be sent to them that day.